Hey and welcome to the daily Manchester United news show. Let's begin with our daily news. Erik Ten Hag provides big injury update on Raphael Varane after FA Cup semi-final win. Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag has provided a big injury update on Raphael Varane following the club's FA Cup semi-final victory over Brighton and Hove Albion. The Red Devils booked their spot in the FA Cup final against Manchester City following a penalty shootout win over the Seagulls. Victor Lindelof converted the winning spot kick. Speaking after the hard-fought result, Ten Hag revealed to Alex Krug that Varan could be fit for the Manchester derby at the Wembley Stadium or maybe sooner. The Frenchman picked up an ankle injury during the first leg of the Europa League quarter-final against Sevilla. He was substituted at the half-time interval. It was recently revealed by the Mirror that he could be available for the FA Cup final in June, and Ten Hag has acknowledged that could be a possibility. Hopefully, Varan will be available to return sooner than that. The Red Devils currently have another 8 games to play in their Premier League campaign. After Tottenham Hotspur's 6-1 rout at St James Park, the club are now 6 points clear of them in fourth, having played 2 games less. Hence, they are in a very strong position to qualify for the Champions League, and a victory at Spurs on Thursday night could pretty much seal their spot. Varan is unlikely to return in the forthcoming games, but Ten Hag will be hoping that he will be involved in his plans in the lead up to the FA Cup final on June 3. In that way, the £36 billion rated star will have ideal preparation time for the Manchester derby. Luke Shaw admits he was confident that Victor Lindelof will score the final penalty. Manchester United defender Luke Shaw was full of praise for Victor Lindelof after their victory over Brighton and Hove Albion in the FA Cup semi-final. The Red Devils reached the 2023 FA Cup final after beating Brighton and Hove Albion on penalties. United prevailed 7-6 on spot kicks, with Lindelof slotting the decisive penalty to set up an all-Manchester FA Cup final on June 3. The England international explained his thoughts as Lindelof stepped up to take the spot kick. He said via Manchester Evening News, "I think I'd have rather been in the first half of the penalty takers. It's never nice waiting and waiting, knowing your time is soon. I was confident anyways. If I had to step up, I thought I'd score, but luckily enough, Victor Lindelof put it away. He won it for us. We have practiced them a lot in training, and Victor has a beautiful technique. When he stepped up, I was confident he wouldn't miss. We had to give everything, and I am really happy for the team that we are in another final." Lindelof capped the performance by converting the winning spot kick in the penalty shootout. The Swede had 66 touches with a pass accuracy of 85%. He won 5 duels and made 5 clearances while completing 100% of his take-ons. The 28-year-old has been a regular on the bench over the last few months, but recent injuries to Raphael Varane and Lisandro Martinez have proved a blessing in disguise for him. With Harry Maguire suspended, the 28-year-old proved his worth against the Seagulls, and it's left to be seen whether he will reclaim his spot against Tottenham. The Red Devils return to Premier League action on Thursday night. Harry Maguire will be available for selection again following his suspension in the FA Cup. In our opinion, manager Erik Ten Hag should continue with Lindelof and Luke Shaw as the central defensive pairing, but we won't be surprised if Maguire starts. Luke Shaw says he really enjoys playing at centre-back. Luke Shaw filled in at centre-back for the FA Cup semi-final and started out of position. With Raphael Varane and Lisandro Martinez injured and Harry Maguire suspended, you would think there might have been a sense of panic heading into the FA Cup semi-final. Not with Luke Shaw around, the England international has filled in adeptly at centre-back this season. He started in the Manchester derby at the position, came through the Camp Nou and Molineux, and now he can add the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley to the list. Shaw recently signed a new contract, and Manchester United are blessed to have such a reliable and versatile defender. Luke Shaw started alongside Victor Lindelof in the centre-back role and helped United keep a clean sheet across the 120 minutes. Shaw genuinely does seem to like playing at the position. After the game, he told MUTV, "When I play in the position, I really enjoy it. I like it a lot. With the injuries and suspension too, I knew I was going to be playing there today. I spoke a lot with the manager over the last couple of days about what he wanted me to do, and I'm happy to help the team wherever I play. And today, hopefully, I did that." Shaw certainly did. You would not have known he was a makeshift centre-back. I think a lot of United supporters would rather see Shaw start alongside Lindelof at Wembley than Harry Maguire. The United captain is back from suspension for the final against City, but considering Shaw has already started once at the position against City this season, shutting down Erling Haaland at Old Trafford, there is reason to be optimistic he can do it again. Erik Ten Hag comments on David De Gea and says Manchester United let him down versus Sevilla. Erik Ten Hag has come out fighting in defense of goalkeeper David De Gea after the FA Cup semi-final. Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag is continuing to back David De Gea after an eventful few days. De Gea was awful against Sevilla, and questions have rightly been raised over his future at the club. Personally, I would advocate moving on, but the opinion which will really matter is Erik Ten Hag, and he is continuing to back the Spaniard publicly. David De Gea made a number of important saves at Wembley through the 120 minutes to keep Manchester United in the game against Brighton. He did struggle in the penalty shootout, but fortunately Brighton did what Villarreal didn't in 2021 and missed the target. Erik Ten Hag told his press conference after the game he was very pleased with De Gea's performance, admitting he made errors against Sevilla. But at the same time, Ten Hag said United's outfield players did not do enough for the goalkeeper. If United had fought back against Sevilla, De Gea's mistakes would not have stood out as much, he told his presser. I was very impressed with him. He made some brilliant saves. It hurt when he made mistakes on Thursday. Often, when you make mistakes as a keeper, you get punished. We let him down. We didn't fight back for him. We bounced back today, though. Questions do remain over De Gea's future, but there is room to focus on the positives now after United's win. The exciting prospect of a Manchester Derby FA Cup final win over Manchester City will fuel the rest of the club's season. Erik Ten Hag pleased with Manchester United performance in FA Cup semi-final win. Erik Ten Hag says his Manchester United side showed determination and resilience to overcome Brighton on penalties in the FA Cup semi-final. Brighton were aiming to reach their first FA Cup final since 1983, while United were on the hunt for their seventh Wembley final appearance. The former started the stronger side, but failed to break down a makeshift United defense that saw Victor Lindelof and Luke Shaw at centre-back, and the Swede was the hero of the match. Ten Hag praised Lindelof and Shaw's performance after the match. He told the BBC, Lindelof, is quite cool when it comes to penalties, and he is quite cool in general. I thought Victor and Luke Shaw played brilliantly. They had great cooperation with Casemiro. Overall, the Dutchman was content with his players against the Seagulls, and he admitted that the team against Sevilla was unrecognizable to the one that he saw beat Brighton. He said, on Thursday, I saw a team I didn't recognize, but today we went back to usual. I could see determination and resilience. We fought for every yard and competed in every battle. We had good chances. Old Trafford protest details for upcoming Manchester United vs Aston Villa fixture. Manchester United supporter group the 1958 have revealed the plans for a new protest against the Glazer family's ownership of the club. The fan group has maintained a strong stance against the American billionaires for several years, continuing to voice their disdain ever after the Glazers announced plans to explore strategic options The Glazers have forced a €600 million debt onto the club after patriarch Malcolm bought majority ownership through the New York Stock Exchange in 2005. The children have subsequently taken an estimated €1 billion out of the club without investing any personal finances. Concerns have begun to grow given the prolonged nature of takeover talks, with the Glazers extending the process into a fourth round of bidding. Eyebrows have also been raised after some American investment firms expressed an interest in backing the Glazers' ownership. Against this backdrop, the 1958 have issued a statement calling for action from fans who want the American tycoons out of the club. This Sunday, when United host Aston Villa in the Premier League, there will be a protest against the Glazers' general position as owners and any potential continued attachment to the club. The slogan behind the upcoming demonstration is "Full Sail Only." A boycott during the game is planned. The specific schedule of the protest is as follows, as per the 1958 statement via Twitter. First, we meet at the Old Nag's Head from 11 a.m. We also have the Abercrombie around the corner. We leave at 11:45. Deansgate, Chester Road, the toll gate must then to Old Trafford. We boycott the game for 18 minutes, 1 minute for each year the Glazers have driven our club to the ground. Flags and banners, all four corners of the ground, no excuses. Bring the hat, bring the noise, bring the passion. Manchester United target Moussa Dembele, set to leave Lyon in the summer and become a free agent. According to a tweet from Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United target Moussa Dembele is set to leave Lyon as a free agent at the end of the season. The report states that a host of Premier League clubs are interested in the Frenchman, who has been with Lyon since the summer of 2018. The former Paris Saint-Germain striker has had a spell on loan at Atletico Madrid in 2021 for 6 months. He was a fantastic servant for Scottish giant Celtic, scoring 51 goals in 94 appearances before moving to Lyon 5 years ago. Dembele has struggled for regular minutes this season. Although he has made 27 appearances in all competitions, he has amassed a total of only 1,041 minutes, scoring 3 goals and assisting 1. The 26-year-old was exceptional for them last season, though, scoring 21 goals in 30 league games this season. Former Arsenal striker Alexander Lacazette has taken his place. For a striker who is entering the peak stage of his career, Dembele already boasts an incredible experience of doing well in most teams he has played for thus far. United boss Erik ten Hag has made it clear that the club needs to sign a striker in the summer. The Dutchman feels that there is a need for a player that can finish off the chances created. While the requirement of the squad is correct, signing Dembele may not solve the issue. United should look to get someone like Harry Kane, who has already been earmarked as the primary target by Erik ten Hag. With Tottenham Hotspur unlikely to finish in the top 4, their hand in the summer could be weakened if the player wants to leave. Brighton CEO addresses possible summer move of Man United transfer target Alexis McAllister. Brighton and Hove Albion CEO Paul Barber cannot confirm that Alexis McAllister will remain at the Amex Stadium next season. As Fabrizio Romano reported, Manchester United and Liverpool are interested in signing the midfielder. He is having a fine season with the Seagulls and played a crucial role in Argentina's World Cup triumph last year. In a recent interview with talkSPORT, Paul Barber failed to rule out the possibility of a transfer exit for McAllister. He said, "Well, with Alexis, we sat down before the World Cup with Carlos, Alexis' father, and his agent and agreed on a new contract, and that was about making sure Alexis was as settled as possible as he could before the World Cup. And afterwards, we ensured he got back focused on the Premier League, which to his credit he absolutely has done and has performed very, very well. What the summer brings, we don't know, and we do know that our best players are going to come under a lot of scrutiny and a lot of interest, and we will manage that as we always do." if and when it happens. The 24-year-old is known for his clever off-the-ball movements that help the players around him to benefit. He is a swift passer of the ball and likes to draw fouls from the opposition. One of his biggest strengths is the versatility he offers at the center of the park. He can play as a holding, central, or attacking midfielder. Ten Hag wants his midfielders to play long passes to involve wingers who are told to remain wide on the flanks. McAllister does this regularly to use the pace possessed by Mitoma and Solomon March. The Telegraph reported last week that the Seagulls want at least £70 million to sanction his departure. Brighton's number 10 will be a shrewd addition to United's squad, but spending over £70 million on him won't be an intelligent move. The creative midfielder put on another impressive performance for Brighton against United in the FA Cup semi-final yesterday. I will be uploading daily Manchester United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.